Hello everyone, this is Pretty John P. from Carmel College Mala. Today I am going to deal with The Outcast by Sarankumar Limbale. Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Again, right to equality in the Indian Constitution says, that is articles from 14 to 18. In Article 14 says that the state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. In 15 says the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth or any of them. Again, in Article 16 says that there shall be equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. Article 17 says abolition of untouchability. In 18, it is abolition of all titles except military and academic. So, if this is the case, in India, we can see that still caste system continues as in ancient days. Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, Dalits, such was the caste category. That's why our great leader B.R. Ambedkar once said, the outcast is a byproduct of the caste system. There will be outcast as long as there are caste. Nothing can emancipate the outcast except the destruction of the caste system. And he said, I like the religion that teaches liberty, equality, and fraternity. So, the stories and traditions of Dalits, they were oral until B.R. Ambedkar emphasized the need for Dalits to declare themselves through literature and disprove the accepted wisdom that writing and literature were meant only for the upper caste. The experiential writing now largely characterizes Dalit literature. There's not much fiction in Dalit literature. Perhaps it has to do with the fact that until recently Dalits did not write, or more accurately, were not allowed to write. Until 50 years ago, literature in India was the stronghold of the upper caste. So, what does the Dalit literature narrate? It narrates human expressions and Dalit experiences. It has developed through the life experiences of Dalits in India. Dalit literature is the finest example to express Dalit's lifelong experiences. It throws light on Dalit culture with the help of own experiences. An important place is given to traditions, folklore, ethics, beliefs, living conditions, and thoughts of Dalits in Dalit literature. And in Dalit literature, Sarankumar Limbale is among the most acclaimed writers of contemporary Dalit literature. He is a Marathi novelist, poet, critic, and short story writer. He penned more than 40 books, but is best known for his autobiographical novel, Akamarshi, published in 1984. He has also written a critical work towards an aesthetics of Dalit literature. He has been committedly working towards the uplift of the Dalit people. He once said, for me and for other Dalit writers, writing is a form of rebellion. Our protest is both on the streets and on paper. My words are my weapons. He Outcast or Akamashi is the first Dalit Marathi autobiography, and it has been translated into several Indian languages including Hindi, Kannada, Punjabi, Tamil, Malayalam, and Gujarati. Marathi version is translated as The Outcast in English by Santosh Bhuka in 2003. Limbale's Akamashi or The Outcast is about an untouchable family in general and community struggles in particular. Let's talk about Akamashi. Limbale was an illegitimate son born to an untouchable outcast landless mother and an upper caste father. Therefore, he described himself as an Akarmashi. Akarmashi, which means half caste. He once said in the acknowledgement of the outcast, to quote, My history is my mother's life, at the most my grandmother's. My ancestry doesn't go back any farther. My mother is an untouchable, while my father is a high caste from one of the privileged classes of India. Mother lives in a hut, father lives in a mansion. Father is a landlord, mother landless. I am an Akarmashi, half caste. I am content, branded, illegitimate. As a result, Sharankumar lived as an untouchable throughout his life. Masamai, his mother, was a Dalit woman who was married to Ethel Kamble. He was a farm worker at Hanumanda Limbale's farm, and she gave birth to two sons named Dharma and Suryakant. Sharan Kumar narrates, Ethel Kamble toiled on the farm by Hanumant Limbale, a patil who helped him during hard times. But while helping Ethel Kamble, the patil's intention was quite different. He had an evil sight on Kamble's wife, and he was such a magician that he got separated from her husband and subsequently made her his concubine. Sharan Kumar was a product of illegal relationship of Hanumanda and Masamai. This relation is known as an akamashi, which means, as according to Professor Raj Pankyamas, half caste. Of being fatherless is an abuse or curse which followed Sharan Kumar all throughout his life. The son of a Patil father and a mother, Mahamother, Limbale always realized that he was considered a karmashi or one of impure blood. His grandmother had a live-in relationship with a Muslim too. Limbale embraced this as a social, genetic, and emotional heritage. He named his autobiography Akarmashi or the Outcast, and when it was published in 1982, it was hailed as a landmark in Marathi literature. The Outcast is an account of Sharan Kumar Limbale's lifelong suffering. He faced several discriminations as an untouchable in different phases of his life. The outcast reflects the conditions of a particular oppressed class, the Maha community. Let's talk about the concept of Akamashi culture. Akamashi means one who is an outcast or illegitimate and is used only as a word of abuse. Whenever a boy is born with the parents of different caste or religion, he is Akamashi, and that signifies ostracism. The word also denotes exclusion, for an outcast is essentially excluded from the community and the associated resources, rights, and privileges. Sharan Kumar was identified as illegitimate by his community because he was born of a sexual relationship outside marriage between an upper caste man and a Dalit woman. The usage of the word illegitimate is not specific to the circumstance of Sharan Kumar's birth alone, but it also encapsulates a significant facet of Dalit situation of marginality. Therefore, the question raised, who is Sharan Kumar? Is he a Mahar, Lingayat, or Muslim? What kind of this culture is? Is it Akamashi or Dalit? The answer to this question is it is neither Akamashi nor Dalit, but a hybrid culture. Let's see the living conditions of this Maha people, or we can say that the community or the so-called outcast. The outcasts were mostly lived in the huts and outside the village due to lack of concrete house. Sharan Kumar's family had no land or house to live like villagers. They spent most of the time inside the bus stand in Hona. Regarding to this house, Sharan Kumar once said, "To us the bus stand was like home. We lay like discarded bus tickets." Unquote. Regarding food, most of the people have two meals daily. One is at morning and second one is at evening. But Dalit society was always an exception to this. Due to such environment, they collect leftover food to eat. Being poor, they have got no chance to eat at least once in a day. Therefore, they ate green leaves or bakri, which was made by grain collected from dung paste and drink water. The image of bakri is given over here. Just look at it. And once Limbale describes an incident of dung paste which plays a vital role in his life to collect dung by women. Here means first is to make round cakes of dung, that is gavriya, and second is to get grains from which bakri is to be made from this dung paste. Regarding to this, Sharan said about his grandma, to quote, Shandamai picked up such lumps of dung and on the way of home washed the dung in the river water, collecting only the clean grains. She then dried them in the sun. As they dried, they shrank. Unquote. Bakri is thus made from grain collected from dung paste to appease their hunger. So, through the outcast, Limbale reveals his inner conflicts of being a Dalit. Limbale is from an oppressed community where he felt like locked up like a patch of leprosy. He has lived the life of an untouchable as a half caste, and the upper caste people humiliated him by calling him an akarmashi. As a result, he had to live with the burden of this oppression. The more he tries to think about the question of the identity, more it becomes complex and agonizing for him. As he himself describes, I am an akarmashi, half caste. I am condemned, branded, illegitimate. Thank you. See you in the next class.